Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. I know I look a little crazy, but today we're going to talk about the newest Wicked Widow Beauty, the Crow palette. This palette is so unique. Look at the artwork. I feel like they did absolutely full justice. By the way, I've not seen this movie, so don't come for me. I've not seen this movie. It looks like a suspense, maybe a horror. I don't know. I think it's a suspense related movie. I was just drawn to the color story. By the way, this palette was sent to me in PR and I am an affiliate with Wicked Widow Beauty. This palette launches on May 17th. Look at the color story of this palette. It is absolutely gorgeous. But wait till you see the swatches. The swatches absolutely blew me away. Like, they are so creamy, they're so pigmented, they're so impactful. It's absolutely wonderful. I did like live swatches in the shorts and also on Instagram, so if you want to see it in action, do see those videos and you'll absolutely get it in action. I'm going to do 3 looks using this palette. I'm jumping the gun. This palette comes with a multiple finishes. They're beautiful holochromes, they're multichromes, there are blendable mattes in this collection, and I specifically want to talk about this shade and this shade, Shelly and Angels. It might look like a shimmery white and a shimmery blue shade, but when these shades are swatched on top of like a red or on top of a, this is, by the way, a deeper blue, like a blue black shade, and this is like a true black shade. I know all these shades might look like very similar, but this is definitely blue on the eyes and you'll see it in action in one of the looks. And this one is definitely a satin shade, so that's another shade in the palette. I think they call this as a shimmer shade. Most of them are like either duochromes or have like holochromy particles. I know this has holochrome, this has holochrome. These are like duochromes. These two are definitely multichromes. This is a duochrome or a multichrome, I don't know. It's like a beautiful, let me swatch it for you guys, right? I'm going to swatch a few shades for you guys. Visions, Shelly, Angels. Oh, this Gabriel shade, my favorite, okay? Absolutely my favorite. Okay, look at that. Let's watch the rest of the palette too, right? Let's do this. Sarah, Vengeance, Devil's Night. I think that's all that we have for the shimmers. Look how creamy those shades are. They're just so pretty. So those are the shimmers of the palette. And you can see like the shiftiness, how beautiful that is. But wait till you see the magic, okay? Let me show you the magic in person because you need to see it. I'm going to take this shade, Draven, and I'm going to take this shade, Immortal. I'm pretty sure you can do so much more, but this is Draven, this is Immortal. Obviously pigmented, right? Super pigmented. This Draven shade is definitely more like blue-black. I think I said that. Okay, now let's take the shade Shelly. And you can see this Shelly shade like a shimmery white shade, right? Let me put Shelly right next to it so that you can see Shelly all in its all glory. So I don't know what shade you see. It's like a green to a pink purple shade. Can you see that? Stunning shade, right? Now look at that. I'm going to put Shelly on top of this blue-black shade. Look at that. Okay, totally a different look. Let me wipe my fingers. Let's put Shelly on top of Immortal and totally a different look. Can you see that? It is such a transformative shade. It's such a beautiful shade, you guys. And that's not the only shade. So let's start with the swatches of the other shade too. I'm going to be covered in swatches, I know. But oh well. Let's do it for the chemistry. I'm going to again take that Draven shade and Immortal shade. Just so that it is, obviously you can take like that black or the other red. But let's do the similar color story. Draven Immortal, okay? Can you even see? And I'm gonna dip into this shade, Angels, this one, this blue shade, blue holographic shade actually. So let me swatch it right here so that you can see all on its own. So that's the shade. It's like a blue to a purple shifting shade, okay? Very pretty. By itself, stunning. But wait till you see it on top. So I'm gonna put it on top of Draven. What? It's such a stunning purple shade. Can you even see it? Oh my god, I should have done it a little bit better. It's such a stunning purple shade, you guys. And then I'll do it on top of the red. And that's a different kind of a magenta shade. It is so stunning. So stunning. Cannot even tell you how beautiful this is. It's so beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna just swatch a few mattes which appear to be a lot closer to each other so that you can see the difference for yourself. So I'm gonna start with, let's do this shade Draven, let's do Revenge, and let's do Crow. So all looks like a pretty much of a shade of a black, right? So let's do this. I don't know how much you can see it, but this is definitely a blue black. And this one is a charcoal gray. And this one is a true black. Okay. There you go. Now let me wipe off my fingers and go into the reds. Because I feel like rest everything that you definitely can see a difference. This is definitely a much more lighter slate gray shade. This is a gray shade, this is a brown shade. Let's do these two shades together. And this is totally a different formula altogether. It's like a brown, like a skin tone brown with like a sheen to it. So reds, right? Let's do this and this. So those are definitely different. Okay. Let me also show you that sheeny shade, and that's called Symmetry. That Symmetry shade definitely is like very unique. I'm gonna just swatch it there. As you can see, it is like a taupey gray brown shade, but has like a sheen running throughout it. So that's the palette swatched for you guys. The shimmers, the mattes, the transformative shade. I cannot get over these things. So pretty, so pretty. If you want to see all of this in action, let me tell you something about the palette. This palette launches on May 17th. I'll put all the timings, everything in the description box below for you guys. You can use my code SMITHYSONY. I am an affiliate with the brand, and my code is SMITHYSONY to save you 10% off. I'm not sure if these codes apply to the brand or not, but otherwise, I know that they said that the palette would retail for $60 with the code Wicked. So if SMITHYSONY doesn't work, at least save some money by using the code Wicked. But yes, now if you are ready to see 3 different eye looks using this palette, I'm gonna do wearable looks. Obviously, you can see these 2 looks. I wore this to office. That's saying a lot. So if you're ready, let's begin. Let's start off with the first look. I'm so excited. I'm going to office. So I'm going to create a wearable look because a lot of people have asked for a wearable look. Let's begin and see where we go. I'm going to start off with this shade in my crease, which is more of a sheeny shade. And then we'll go with this shade. So let's do that. I'm going with the shade Symmetry. And these shadows are a little bit on the powderier side, and it's quite expected just because it's super pigmented too. This Symmetry shade is definitely more on the sheenier side, has a little bit of like glow coming through it. And if you've not seen my swatches, like I've done live swatches for this palette because you need to see this palette in its own glory just to understand. So that's basically gave me like a little bit of like gray shade. I'm going into shade Believe, which is the brown tone of the palette. I'm gonna stamp it in the outer corner and then blend it into the crease. And I'm wearing a purple dress, so I'm gradually gravitating towards a purpley shades. And you'll be like, Smithy, what are you talking about? There's no purpley shades. Wait. Before the sunlight, changes, I need to finish this eye look. That's why I'm rushing. I'm also going to take that same shade on the lower lash line. Now I'm going to take that black shade. Yes, you got me right, black for a wearable shade. I just want a little bit of depth right here and use maximum shade, so I'm going to use this. Do you see? Just a tad bit, but it will definitely give you the depth that you want. And I'm glad that this is more of a buildable formula and it's not like uber pigmented. I mean, it is pigmented. When you see the swatches, you'll know, but it's not like that pigmented that you cannot blend it out. Now I'm going back into the same brush with the crease shade that we applied with no additional product, just blending. Okay, now let's move on to the shimmers. For the shimmers, I'm going to start with Angels. Let's start with Angels first. I'm going to put Angels all across my lid. I'm going to take Angels on a brush and let's spray this brush just so that I don't get like much fallout. And I'm going to just apply that right there. And this is a blue, purple, pink multichrome shade. And this is such a beautiful layering shade, you guys. It's just amazing the way it layers. In Instagram, I actually did comparison of this shade, Angels, on top of like a deeper blue shade from this palette, like a blue-black shade, and on top of a red shade. And it looks so different. I'm gonna take that deepening brush again with no additional product, just blending the edges. I'm gonna take this Gabriel shade, this one. It's more of, it's obviously it's a gold silver, but such a glam shade, you guys. Yeah, I'm going to office, you're right, but I cannot help myself. I'm just gonna put that in the inner third of the eye. Look at that. That's just beautiful in my opinion. I'm gonna take that Believe shade that we applied on the crease, on the lower lash line too. And then I'm gonna take the shade Shelly, this one, the iridescent shade here, and I'm gonna take that in my inner corner, just right there. It has like a green, pink, purple flip. Look at that. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my first look. I really love the way how this turned out. I love the way that this can go wearable if you really need to, but also can go dramatic, because this palette is full of dramatic shades. Like there are grays, there are burgundies, there are reds, but you know, you definitely can go and take it more on the neutral vibes too. I definitely want to give different aspects of this palette. So let's move on to the second look. Okay, I just came back from work. Let's begin with the second and third look. So what are we gonna do? Definitely the shades jumping to me is the Visions shade, Sarah, this Vengeance shade. Oh my god, so pretty. Okay, what are we doing? But I also want to give you options that you'll not think as soon as you see this palette. Let's start off with this shade, which is Trivial Things. And this is a gray shade. And we're going to do two different eye looks right now, okay? I'm very time crunched. Tomorrow is the last day that I'm working, and then I'm off to my vacation. So I'm very much like squeezing this thing inside. Okay, I think we did not use this. Draven, let's take this Draven shade. I'm not sure. And I actually just did the look in the morning. I think I used Crow. And if you can see, yeah, I think I used Crow. If you can see that Draven shade is definitely pulling more blue as compared to Crow shade, which was there in this corner, which is much more like true black. Like in the pan, I feel like this Draven shade would be like black, You'll be like, why is there so many blacks? Do we actually need so many blacks in the palette? But this is definitely pulling more blue. Now, let me wipe off the same brush. And then I'm gonna go with the shade, let's go with the shade Revenge. Ooh, that's that's more pigmented than I thought. I'm gonna just take Revenge on the lower lash line. I'm just gonna take that Revenge on nothing additional, actually. I'm just blending. Okay, just going back and forth just because I'm not looking for too much of depth. I want a more blended look. So that's like, okay, I'm good with that. Okay, now for the shimmers, there's so many pretty shimmers, you guys. I don't even know what to do with it. Actually, you know what? Let me show you something else. I'm gonna take this Revenge shade on like half of the eyelid. Obviously less deeper than this shade, Draven shade. Want to deepen it out, you can just tap into Draven and it'll pull a little bit more on the bluer side. I know I look crazy. I'm gonna take, okay, I have a plan. Let's take Vengeance, which is it's like a blue gunmetal shade with a ton of holochrome particles. I'm just gonna put that right there. It's super shiny. I have no idea how much you can see it, because this is like a very dark charcoal black gunmetal shade with ton of sparkle going right there. And then I'm gonna just wipe off my finger, and then take the shade Shelly. This one looks like a white iridescent shade. I'm gonna place that in the inner part of the eyelid, but I am going to put it on top of that shade too. I'm going to wipe off my brush just because I don't want to make that white iridescent pan looking like a green shade, but it is like an iridescent green pink shade. Can you see that shift? It's so pretty, you guys. For the inner corners, I'm going to take this, let's take this shade, Devil's Night. I think it'll be a little dark. And that's like a true silver. I want to do something else on my lower lash line. I'm going to take tiny brush. Can I get a tiny brush, please? Thank you. I'm going to take this Draven shade, just sweep on the lower lash line. And I'm going to just wipe off the brush. And then I'm going to take this Shelly shade again. Just spray it just because I want the intensity, but I don't want fallout. I'm going to tap that on the lower lash line. Okay. And you see the magic. It's such a vibrant green. It is so pretty, you guys. It's just so pretty. Just going to go back into that Draven shade because we don't want to lose that. I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And that's my second eye look. I really love the versatility that this palette has, really. I feel like nobody would think that a green can come out of this palette, but it is so versatile. And I'll show you the swatches so that you can see it in action like towards the end of the video. Let's dive into some reds, because I know some of the people definitely ask me like, Smithy, how do we do and deal with like these reds? And I definitely want to show you guys how to apply this. So let's begin. I don't even know at this point what all I used. I'm gonna take this Belief shade just a tad bit, okay? And I'm gonna take that mainly as a crease shade. And because these shades are super pigmented, so just go with like a very light tap if you want like just a transitioning shade in your crease. Go with like a big fluffy brush, light pressure and circular motions. And then I'm going to take this shade, Forever shade, just a little bit, starting with the outer corners and then going in the crease. Again, because this shade Forever is definitely much more pigmented than you are seeing it on my eyes. So I'll just go with like a very light pressure, just right there, just like that. And then I'm gonna take a flatter brush. Let's wipe this. I'm gonna take this shade Immortal, which is like a deeper red burgundy shade. I'm gonna take that on the outer corners, right there, okay? I feel like the eyes immediately, as soon as you open the palette, goes on like this red, this silver, this gunmetal, this thing, because it's so shiny. But you can do seriously so much. I am seriously on a time crunch. Otherwise, I can easily would have filmed like 5 looks using this palette. But don't you worry, once I come back, if I have time, I'll definitely dive into it. But I feel like even for every day, you can take like 2 shades and you can get so much out of this. Okay, now I'm going to take this Iron Gate shade and take that on the lower lash line. I think that was the only matte shade that I did not use. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a little bit of this Crow shade, the black shade. I love a good like deeper wine shade and a black combination. I feel like it just grounds the look a little, and just a little tapping motion. I definitely don't want to lose the burgundy from the Immortal shade. And when you're working with like reds, like just keep blending, going back and forth on the edges, okay? I'm not worried about it so much. I'm gonna take this shade of Visions. It's such a pretty shade, you guys, such a pretty shade. I'm going to go in Visions, and I'm going to take that on the center of my eyelid, just like that, okay? That'll be a beautiful red smoky eye, but it'll be a crime not to use this shade. So let's take that on a less flatter brush, Devil's Night. And I'm going to take that against that red and then just lightly mesh it with that red. It's but obvious if I use my fingers, it's going to be so much more pigmented. I just want a little bit of sparkle and shine. Look how glam it is. It's just so stunning, so stunning. I'm just going back and forth and mixing those 2 shades together, just for a seamless blend, okay? Look how stunning that is. For the inner corners, I'm gonna take this Gabriel shade that we use in the morning look, the first look, and plop that in the inner corners. That is like a stunning, like glam shade of the palette. I feel like that is my favorite shade of the palette. I really love that. Okay, going back into that Immortal shade, just tapping the edges. And if you want to just blend any edges, you can dip either into this or this. This would give a little bit more of that sheen to the eye look, but this is closer to my skin tone shade. So I'm just going to take a little bit and just go over the edges. It'll quickly blend that for you. That's all. I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And I'm also going to take a black eye pencil and just line my waterline. And that's my third eye look. I really love the way how glam this is. I feel like I created 3 absolutely different eye looks. The first one was definitely more purple to blue to pink kind of a look. Second one definitely turned out more green, and the third look is more like red. I feel like you can do so much with this. I cannot even start with like the matte looks that you can get. I feel like there can be such a beautiful gray look or a blue look, and these neutrals can definitely ground the look together. I really love it. Let me see if I've not used any shade. I feel like the only shade that I missed was this shade, Sarah, this one. And that's like a gunmetal blue shade. It is such a stunning shade. Can you imagine like a black smoky eye with that? what I'm gonna do. Most probably would start with this in the crease, this to darken it a little bit, go with crow in the inner and the outer corners, and put this all across the eyelid. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Okay, and go with this devil's night in the inner corners. Oh my god, shut up. Okay, so that's all. I really wanted to film it so quickly for you guys so that you can have these at least inspiration looks with you if you are trying to buy this palette. But that's all for today, guys. Do let me know in the comment section below, are you interested in the crow palette? I'm so excited. When I actually saw this palette, I was like, oh, that is definitely unique, and if it is gonna come to my collection. By the way, this palette was sent to me in PR. So when the owner showed it to me, I was like, it's gonna be unique in my collection, so I'll definitely give it a go. As soon as I started swatching it, that's when the magic happened, and I was like, wow, I can do so much with this, and I really, really, really love it. Again, the palette launches on May 17th. I'll put all the details in the description box below for you guys. My code is SMITHYSONY to save you 10% off. So I really am excited for this. Do let me know if you're gonna buy this or not. But that's all for today, guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.